Hi guys, nice to meet you if you're new here. Nice to see you. If you're not new here, how's it going? I'm Lara. It is the end of the year. It's actually December, what's today? Today's December 12th. That means it's almost the end of the year. We're wrapping it up. We have like 2 or 3 weeks left of the year, which means in the reading world, we're trying to get to our reading goals. At the beginning of the year, I set a reading goal of 60 books. Last year, I think I read 53 or something like that, 55. I can't remember. I was like, I did great last year. I want to read more. I want to read more. I'm filming videos. I think I can read more. So I set it for 60. We're sitting at 50 and I have so much time to get to 60 books. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. If I don't read 60 books in a year, it's not the end of the world. I understand. But that's what this video is. This is my last reading vlog of the year, which probably won't even be uploaded till next year. In this reading vlog, I'm going to try and reach my reading goal of 60 books. I'm going to try and read 10 books in 20 days. Can I do it? I think I can. I think I can actually. I think that I can read 10 books in 20 days. Right now, I'm reading The King of Elfhame Hates... Wait, just kidding. How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. It's just a bunch of short stories and there's pictures in the book, so like even better. There's a bunch of short stories about the King of Elfhame and when he was a prince and stuff that happened in his life. And so far, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being back in the world. I'm on page like 90 in this book. There's only 170 pages, so far, so good. I'm going to continue reading this book today. Hopefully I finish it. The clock is ticking. I'm running out of time. Let's go read a book. Just finished King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. If you read this book, read it after you read the Cruel Prince trilogy. It's telling stories about his life before all the events, or like during the events that happen in the Cruel Prince trilogy. Interesting to see his point of view from different things. And not a lot in this book is about the events that is happening in the trilogy, but there's like some things, very small things. It was a cute little book. I enjoyed it. Brings me back to reading the Cruel Prince trilogy. I would rate this, it's not important to the story. Like, you could completely skip this book and still completely understand the story. The end of the last book, Queen of Nothing, wraps up, it finishes. This is adding nothing but a different perspective and just fun little silly stories. I would give this a 4, just for enjoyment. 1 book down to my reading goal, 9 more to go. I think I might read on my Kindle next. I'm gonna try to also not read just short stories. I think I'm gonna try and read like books that I actually own, or like the average length of a book is about 300 pages. So I think I'm gonna try and read at least a couple of average length books. So I'm not just reading short stories. Cause like, yes, I wanna reach my goal, but I don't want to read just short stories just to reach my reading goal. I also want to enjoy the books that I'm reading. I think I might read A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. It's the 2nd book in the Gold Rush Trance series. It's Violet's book, and it has an interesting storyline. It says, I have seen every square inch of Violet Eaton's delectable body, and she has no idea who I am. What happened between us online in our chats was meant to stay anonymous and in the past. Until it didn't. Hi guys, it has been a couple of days since I last updated you. I think I last updated you when I started reading A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. I've read quite a bit of this. I think I'm on page like 210. I've read quite a bit today, and I plan on reading really just for the rest of the night. It's like 7 o'clock at night, and I plan on reading for the rest of the night, see how much I can get done, trying to finish this book tomorrow. I have 14 days left to read 8 books. I have not read a single book since I last updated you, and I think I updated you when I had about 18, 19 days left, and it's been quite a bit. Gold Rush Ranch comes before Chestnut Springs. I read Chestnut Springs first, then I decided to pick up Gold Rush Ranch. I know who Violet is in the Chestnut Springs, like I said, because I read that book first. I didn't know Violet, but if I would have read this book first, I would have known that her brothers and her dad are overprotective, and they made her life feel like she was in a nutshell and she couldn't really do much. And so then she takes this really big leap when she's in her early 20s, and she does something kind of crazy for her, and that's her stepping out of this nutshell. You don't see that in Chestnut Springs. You see her brothers seeing their life, and you don't get to see, I mean, I was gonna say you don't get to see them being overprotective, but you do. You do see them being overprotective, but not with Violet. So it's interesting to see how she felt about growing up and how they felt about growing up. Just over halfway in this book, I'm on page 210. Let's talk about Cole. Cole is the male main character in this story, and he is definitely a grumpy guy. He's really just like this shell of a guy. You don't know him, he just seems grumpy, but then you're getting his point of view and you're seeing how soft he can be, how he actually feels. At the beginning of every single chapter, you're seeing their history briefly of what they had, and it's slowly building up to this thing that like really happened, and I'm so excited to get there because I just want to know what happened. Each little glimpse makes me want to see more. I love my ranch stories. I love them being on a ranch. I love the horses. I love the cows. I love whatever a part of them as a ranch. You know what I was just saying I want to happen? Because we've been building up to it. It's happening. It's finally happening, and I'm just scared. I'm so scared. Morning, besties. It is Sunday. I quite literally just woke up like 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. But I wanted to update you guys really quickly so I could get my day started and reading and all of that. I finished A Photo Finish. It's the second book in the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. I finished it, I want to say Thursday night. It's Sunday, and Friday and Saturday I was both super busy on those days, so I didn't get a chance to read anything. Our two main characters meet before they actually meet. They start chatting online anonymously. They have no idea who each other is, but they start chatting online. They learn a lot of things about each other, and then one day it just stops. They go like a year or so without talking, then they're presented to each other, and they find out that it's them who have been chatting online. I felt like their attraction to each other sometimes was just physical attraction and not anything to do with like their personality or their charm or whatever. So I'm gonna give it 3.75 because I did really still enjoy it, and I definitely recommend this series. As for my next book that I'm gonna read, I let my husband pick my next book. I gave him a choice between A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston, Daydream by Hannah Grace, and Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, and he chose Ready or Not. I know at the beginning of this year this book was very popular. Everybody was raving about the book, so I'm excited to see what the book is about. I'm excited to get into it and see the characters. I've only really read I think, one surprise pregnancy trope, which was Out on a Limb, and I loved that book. I loved seeing the characters like during the pregnancy and watching them grow together and being friends and then turning into lovers, and that's kind of what this is. The main character is just a man stepping into the position of being there for his friend, but it's also her best friend's brother. I'm gonna go start Ready or Not, gonna go make my coffee, sit on the couch, you know, the usual. Let's go. Hey, just wanted to give you an update on me reading Ready or Not. I've actually read quite a bit of this book. I'm on page 269 out of like 370 pages or so, something like that. I just can't stop reading. It has been a couple of days and I haven't updated you because at first I was like, oh, there's really nothing to update about. Like, we know the premise of the story. We know what's kind of going on. She's pregnant. Her best friend's brother is stepping in, not to be the father. He's not stepping in to be the father. He's stepping up to be there for her. And her best friend really can't be there for her. We're going through the different trimesters. So we have like different sections of the book that are each trimester. So first, second, obviously third trimester. But I just wanted to pop in because I was reading earlier and out loud I was like, the tension is literally killing me. It is hurting my soul, their tension that they have. Shep and Eve. Listen, I love tension. I love it in a book, but also I hate it at the same time for one specific reason. I wish they would just tell each other. I want the tension, but I also want them to tell each other because it's killing me because we can see it happening. We can see them being like very subtle and that they like each other, and I just want you to tell the other person because I just want to see you happy. It's currently Christmas and I have nothing to do. And it's almost 6 o'clock, so I'm just gonna read. Need to charge my battery. Gonna read for a little bit. Good morning, guys. It is currently Saturday. The last time I updated you, I was reading Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, and I actually finished it. This book was very cute. It was very cute. I love the male main character in it. He's such like a happy-go-lucky person. He was always looking at the brighter things, even in a tough situation. Even though this is going on, look at it this way kind of guy. Really loved him. We have Eve, who has a one-night stand and gets pregnant. She's unsure what to do, but her best friend's brother steps up and is there for her. Her best friend has a hard time being there for her. And then the father is also going through his own stuff. We're going through her trimesters together, and Shep is there no matter what for her. I really did enjoy this story. I'm not really sure what to rate it because there were a couple times where I felt like it was a little bit cringy. We have a side character, which is a nurse, and she was just a fun character. She's not in the story way too often. When she is, I really love her. Love that they're friends for so long, but then the tension, I was like, please just tell each other you like each other, please. I am begging you. It is so obvious. I've read 53 books so far. I have 7 more books to go, and the new year is on Wednesday. So I have until Tuesday at midnight to finish all of these books. Currently, right now, I'm reading The Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. I've only started 2 chapters, but I was just reading for a couple minutes downstairs before I came up here. I have a couple of short stories that are on my radar, but we'll see as I read for the rest of the day and tomorrow what I'm gonna pick up. I didn't look up what the story was about because it's only like 60 pages, so I thought I was just going to jump into it without knowing anything, but I have read the first 2 chapters. We have Holly, which is our main female character. She's a nurse and she takes care of her grandmother that's on hospice. She gets into her car and there's this little card on the window and she's like, oh, I've read too many stories and seen too many things on the news about this. I'm gonna keep driving. So she drives into this public area, takes a note off the car, and it's a little Valentine's card with a sex coupon in it. And she's like, oh, this is not meant for me. Let me just toss it away. Our male main character, John, is the one who put it on her car, but it was by accident. He was actually just helping his brother out to put it on his brother's girlfriend's car, and it just was on the wrong car. I can see why it's called The Worst Wingman Ever. Currently on chapter 3. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm actually going to sit here until I finish the book because, like I said, it is only 60 pages long. I have less than an hour left in the book. That was such a cute book. There was also an element of like her being a hospice nurse and she's caring for her grandmother. Abby Jimenez always teaches you some kind of lesson in her book, and she teaches you a lesson in this 60-page book. Like something to leave her books with, something to put into your life. And it's so strange to me because I've noticed that with all of her books that I have read from her, that you can take away something from her books, take away something. And she even did that in this book that is 60 pages long. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to just go straight into the next book, which is, let's see, what is it? Ashley Poston's With Any Luck, from the same collection, Improbable Meet Cute. This one is even shorter than the last one. It's 43 pages long. Just finished With Any Luck by Ashley Poston. That was also a very quick read. It is currently 2:55. I've read 2 books in the last like hour and a half or so. With Any Luck is about Audrey. She grows up thinking like her family is super lucky. She's been lucky all her life, but she's not lucky with love. Her best friend is about to get married and she's his best man. They have a little bachelor party. It's the wedding day and he's not there. The bride's best friend, his name is Theo Luck. It was a cute little story. I enjoyed it. I am going to take a little break. I have a little headache, so I'm gonna go sit and not read for a little bit. But I did read 55. I'm on my 55th book. I have 5 more books left to read and it's still only Saturday. I'm also kind of thinking of reading Heartstopper. I know a lot of people love them. I haven't read them before, but I know they're like graphic novels and short, and I have the first 2 books, so I might read those. Hello, it is Sunday. We are down to 3 days left of trying to reach my reading goal by the end of the year. I finished my 2 books yesterday and then I didn't really read after that. I had a headache and it just didn't go away, so I didn't read anymore. But I did do research on what kind of book I want to read next, and I still have no clue. I've tried starting a couple books this morning. I'll read the first page and think, never mind, I don't want to read that. If I don't reach my reading goal, it is not a big deal. I just want to try. The thing is, I've read a lot of romance and I'm kind of feeling not a romance. Or if I'm reading a romance, I kind of want to read a dark romance. I just did my TikTok research of what kind of dark romance I should read, and I saw this one recommended a couple of times. It's called No Place to Hide by Harper Ashley and Rin Hawthorne. It's short little novella dark romance book, and that's kind of what I'm feeling. It's at a carnival, less than 100 pages. Let's go start this book. just finished No Place to Hide, and let me tell you my thoughts on the book. When I looked it up, it was pretty recommended on TikTok, not like a big popular book, but when I looked up dark romance novellas on TikTok, this one kept popping up and it was pretty recommended. And then on Goodreads, the reviews are also really good. So I was like, oh, I might love this book. I might actually really enjoy it. This is what I'm in the mood for, a dark romance, something spicy. See, I got that, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it. Everybody has their own taste. Like, this book is very obviously quite a few people's taste. It was not mine, and that's okay because there's books that I really enjoy that other people absolutely hated, and it's okay. This book was not for me. It was not for me because I am not a fan of like degrading. It was just absolutely mean to her. In this book, you're following Blair, who is just a girl who did really good in school. Now she's in college, did really good in college. She has like a pretty tame life. She had a boyfriend that she's had since high school, and she was kind of just not loving the tame life, not loving how her life was going. She broke up with her boyfriend. She's going to this carnival. At this carnival, something happens, and Jackson, who is our main character, is there. He works at the carnival. He says something. She goes to thank him, and then it turns into this cat and mouse game. Her hiding in the carnival and him chasing her, finding her. Decided, you know what, I'm just gonna stick it out. It's a short book. It's fine. But I didn't like it. 4 books left to read, and I still have my 3 days. But I don't know what I'm gonna read next, so I'll update you when I do. It is the next day. It's currently Monday, and it is the 30th today. So we have until tomorrow at midnight to finish my next 2 books. I finished A Cruel Winter with You a little bit ago by Ali Hazelwood. It was a fun, cute little read. Just like, same way I felt about The Worst Wingman Ever. Just a fun, cute little read. Another book that I think could have been a full-length book and not just a novella. I would have read 300 pages of this book. It's another best friend's brother story. They grew up together. He's always had this little crush on her, and as they got older, he was the popular kid. Maybe he didn't feel that way about me anymore. He's popular. She ends up coming over to his house on Christmas Eve to ask him for something, and she gets snowed in. That was my 57th book. No. Was it? Do I have 3 more books and I thought I had 2? I have 3 books left to read. I've been putting it off reading today because I was like, oh, I only have 2 books left to read. It'll be fine. It's 3:40 right now, and I've got to read 3 more books by tomorrow. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. My next book that I'm thinking of picking up, I've heard a lot of good things about this book. I have also received it as a gift, which is Heartstopper. It is the first Heartstopper. It's a graphic novel, so I think I'm gonna read it fast, and if I enjoy it, I also have the second book. just finished Heartstopper Volume 1 and 2 in one sitting, and I really enjoyed them. I've been putting them off. They've just been sitting on my bookshelf for months. They were both just super cute. They are two boys in high school. There's Charlie and Nick. One day he gets paired to sit next to Nick, and they form this little friendship. After I read the first book, which is back on my shelf, I read the first book and I was like, this is so sweet, but it's so heartbreaking. Because you're watching Nick, who's just finding himself. He's trying to figure out who he is, who he likes. Watching him struggle with himself a little bit, but then seeing him and Charlie together is so cute because Charlie is really bringing Nick out of his little shell. Second story is picking back up where the first story ends. They have started a relationship. You're just following the story of them in the relationship. I absolutely love the illustrations. I love that this is a graphic novel. I've never read a graphic novel before, and I for sure will be reading more. We're up to 59 books, 1 day left, and our goal is 60. Happy New Year's. It is officially the 1st. My reading goal was 60. I think when I started this video, I had 9 or 10 books left to read. I did finish my reading goal. I officially reached 60 books yesterday. I think I read the first 2 Heartstoppers the last time I talked to you. And then yesterday I was deciding between a couple books for my last book, and I ended up with The Situationship by Abby Jimenez. This is like a little glimpse of the next book, Say You'll Remember Me, which comes out in a couple of months. I didn't know this was an exclusive chapter in a Target book of Just for the Summer, but apparently it was. We missed it. So I got it thinking it was going to be like 50 pages long. It felt like it only ended up being 15 pages long. I think it was longer than that. I think when I looked at it, the count was like 37 pages or something like that. It felt way shorter than that. It introduces you to the next story, which is going to be Maddie and Doug, right? That's their names, right? Yep. Doug is Daniel's best friend. You meet Daniel in Part of Your World, and then Maddie is Emma's best friend, which you meet in Just for the Summer. I think it's going to be so great because you already get a glimpse of them, and I think their dynamic works very well. To recap on all the books that I read How the King of Elfhame Learned How to Hate Stories. It's a little novella after the Cruel Prince trilogy, and it's like a bunch of short stories of the King of Elfhame's life when he was younger. Then I read A Photo Finish, which is the second book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. Also really enjoyed that book. I did like it more than I liked the first book. When I read the first book, I really just didn't like it at all. I didn't like the characters. And I can't remember why I didn't like the characters, but in the second book, I liked the characters. So I don't know if it was like timing or what, but I'm going to give this one a 3.75 star, I think. Then I read Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. The characters in it were so fun. I really loved the male main character. I loved his personality. I loved him. I loved the things that he said. I loved the things that he did. I just really loved the male main character. I think I'm going to give this book a 4 star. Then I read The Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. It's in the Improbable Meet Cute series. Really love that one as well. I have loved every single Abby Jimenez book I ever read. Love them so much. I'm not going to rate the really short books that I read because this one was like 50 pages long. I think it could have been a full length, like 300-page book. Same thing with Any Luck by Ashley Poston, another book that I think could have been a full-length book. I love that they were short stories. I love that I read the short stories and I was able to reach my reading goal with them. I would love them even more if we got more of the characters, more in depth with the characters, but I do love that they were shorts. Then I read No Place to Hide. I did not like this book. I like the concept of the book, of it being a dark romance book, and they're in a carnival, they're playing like a cat and mouse game. I just didn't like the way that he talked to her. After that one, I read Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood. It's in the Under the Mistletoe series. Really like this one as well. Then Heartstopper Volume 1 and 2. I've never read a graphic novel before, and I absolutely loved it. I love the illustrations, I love the dialogue, I love the characters. I loved them, and I will be getting the rest of the Heartstopper series. No wonder so many people love the stories. And now Kent Connor is all over my For You page. And then finally, The Situationship, which I just talked about. I think this video took me about 3 weeks to finally reach my 60 book reading goal. I had a lot of fun. Reaching your reading goal is not that big of a deal. If you didn't reach it, that's totally okay. If I didn't make this video, there was no way that I was going to finish my reading goal. I know it's the new year and this video didn't come out before the end of the year, but thank you guys so much for being here. I had such a great year with y'all. This is the first year that I fully have committed to filming, and I got a camera and I've had so much fun editing my videos and so much fun talking to you guys. Other than that, I hopefully will see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.